The reason that I got the Sega Genesis Mini is mainly to play this particular game. It's called Streets of Rage 2. So when I heard that Dynamite Dom Gaming requested this particular title, I was like, the moment I get the Sega Genesis Mini and get it out of the box, I'm going to play this game first. Here's the review. If you're ranking the best characters in any beat-em-up game, it's entirely possible that these are your top 4. Every single character in Streets of Rage 2 is a lethal killing machine designed to wipe out hundreds of bad guys with a precise series of button presses. Yet all 4 characters in Streets of Rage 2 are so unique in their design that it feels like you're playing 4 magnificent beat-em-up games in one. Max is your grappler, and he deals a ton of damage if you grab your enemies in the back or toss them in the air. He also has a chop attack, an elbow drop that easily leads into throws, and a sleeper hold that he can use to deal the most damage in the game. So if you're playing Max, the goal is to sneak up behind as many enemies as possible, because your back throws do the most damage. If you prefer striking your enemies from the front, then Axel should be your character of choice. His ability to vault over opponents makes it easy for him to dodge enemy attacks, and his blitz move, the Grand Uppercut, is done by pressing towards twice at the opponent and then pressing the B button on the Sega Genesis Mini controller. Timing your punches right will allow you to stun the opponent indefinitely, use this to your advantage, and finish with the Grand Uppercut. That's how you clean up the streets with Axel, but if you want to show off, you should be playing Skate. Skate is the most technical character in the game, and you'll need an advanced knowledge of Streets of Rage 2's mechanics in order to pull off the combos that he's capable of doing. A late drop attack followed by 2 headbutts and then going to his back throw is going to be the easiest way for you to deal damage with Skate, but it's difficult to get the spacing right, so you have to mix up your attacks. Finally, there's Blaze Fielding, the character you should be playing if you're serious about beating the game. Her blitz attack, the vertical slash, is something you should be incorporating into all of your combos, but if you think about it, all her punches, kicks, throws, and special moves are safe if you space them properly. This is why Blaze should be your character of choice if you want to express yourself. And if expressing yourself means uppercutting as many people in the face as possible, then you should be playing Axel instead. If you get surrounded by enemies, press down plus A to do a special attack. Stationary special attacks drain your life gauge after they connect, but still better than getting hit. Speaking of which, I love the way that Streets of Rage 2 forces you to move your character in different ways. For example, check out how the guy in the green shirt is constantly hitting me while I'm trying to perform a combo. This causes me to lose my patience and jump into Gonzalez, who likes to knock his opponents out of the air. Sensing that I'm getting a lot of damage, I retreat to the upper left corner of the screen, where I think I'm safe, but if I keep my distance too much, that opens me off to Red Signal's slide kick. That's 3 fairly big mistakes in a relatively short period of time, but the amount of damage I took was really small. Even with the difficulty set to hardest, Streets of Rage 2 is a very inviting game. Weapons like the lead pipe give you a welcome break from being surrounded by enemies, and other items such as cash bags and apples are designed to refill your life gauge, give you bonus points, and hopefully lead to extra lives. Also, the effectiveness of each weapon will depend on the character you use. Max and Blaze are especially effective when carrying a lead pipe, so you want to use them like this, or toss them at the enemy. And if anyone tries to run at you, counter with a jump attack. Press C and then B on the Sega Genesis Mini controller. At the end of every stage in Streets of Rage 2, you're going to encounter a boss. Barbin, the bartender who likes to stand in the rain and catch a cold, is the first boss. And when Sega designed Barbin, they did a couple of very smart things. First, there's this overpowered mechanic in Streets of Rage 2 where if you time your punches properly, you'll also be able to stun the opponent, indefinitely with most characters. I mentioned this trick earlier, and it doesn't work against Barbin. The second thing I love about Barbin the bartender is that he relies on kicks and throws. This means you're going to want to keep your distance so you don't get kicked in the face, but sometimes he's just going to walk up and throw you, and that's when you get to demonstrate how to do a throw recovery. Simply hold up and C on the Sega Genesis Mini controller while you're being thrown in midair. Instead of taking damage, you'll land on your feet and you'll be ready to fight again. And while throw recoveries aren't mentioned in the manual, and they're not essential to beating Streets of Rage 2, special techniques and the opportunities to discover them are littered all over Streets of Rage 2's 8 stages. Combine that with an unforgettable soundtrack and some of the best 16-bit sprite work that's ever been seen on the Sega Genesis, and you get one of the best games that the Sega Genesis Mini has to offer. So, what are my feelings about Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis Mini? Let's cut to the chase. We're just going to give this game a 10 out of 10. You and I know it. This is one of the best games of all time. The Sega Genesis Mini just had to partially deliver on it, even if it wasn't 100% perfect, and it actually is 100% perfect. This is one of the best reasons to own this particular mini game console. I know I'm going to be playing this again once the camera stops rolling, and I hope you do too.